Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report coming at you on this Thursday, September 5th. I am your host, Chase Sr., and no matter where you are, how you're tuned in, I appreciate all of you for making our live coverage a part of your day. Producer Chip on the ones and twos, and we have the faithful rocking and rolling with us from every pocket of America and worldwide, because this is the largest independently run Niners channel right here on YouTube. Plenty to get into here on the 49ers Report show rundown. We have a Christian McCaffrey injury update. Should we be concerned about that? Stay tuned to find out the information and details pertaining to that. We have some wild Ricky Pearsall shooting updates from head coach Kyle Shanahan. That's going to shock you. I can guarantee you that. We're going to talk Niners-Jets. Monday Night Football, Week 1. We'll be doing a watch party, of course, for that game. More on that in a moment. I also have listed out my biggest concerns for San Francisco against the New York Jets, and we'll round out today's live show with the mailbag, so get involved. I want to hear from you to have you be a part of the show. Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. As a reminder, circling back to this, join us Monday Night Football, live on the San Francisco 49ers Report. We'll be doing another watch party. It's the best place to experience game day outside of being at the actual game. And our live show starts at 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 p.m. on the West Coast. Levi's Stadium, a star-studded matchup between San Francisco and New York. That is our start time, but that can change. How can it change, Chase? Well, here's our Super Chat menu. If we get the $300 in total Super Chats on today's Niners Report, we'll do more than an hour pregame show. And you can decide. If we get to $100 in total Super Chats, I'm doing a beer boot here today. We also are announcing a new September competition. Whoever sends in the most $50+ Super Chats throughout the month of September, at the end of the month, we will crown a champion. And that champion will get a number 24 49ers Report customized jersey. Everybody who sends in a Super Chat, $50 or more, will have their name put on that jersey. So, special prize from us here on the Niners Report, $20 for a beer cheers, and all Super Chats, they get a shout-out. Two sponsors we want to give shout-outs to on today's live show. Game Time. If you're looking for the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed, download the Game Time app. Prices drop as the event gets closer, and Game Time guarantees you that you will find the lowest ticketing prices on their app as compared to other apps. So download the app, create an account, use the code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS. Terms apply, first purchase only. You see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. You can access your tickets from your phone. You can also easily resell your tickets as well. Check out Game Time Picks too, by the way, because curation makes it easier to save more on sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and more. I also love the all-in pricing tool. You can toggle this feature to show you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. Prize Picks, our other sponsor. Daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines, and you can win some big-time money. Just like Game Time is giving you $20 off, Prize Picks has a deal as well. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Our selections that we like going into Week 1, there is a Caleb Williams special all throughout this month. More than a half passing yard. Easy dub. We'll see what happens with Christian McCaffrey as far as his injury, but the more than 115.5 rushing and receiving yards is enticing. Brandon Ayuk, more than 4 catches, and then Breece Hall, more than 63.5 rushing yards. Download the Prize Picks app. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Get $50 when you play 5. All that information is available for you down in the comment section and in the description of today's Niners Report. If you want to get on the show and be a part of our mailbag and get your questions answered so that thousands know your name and thousands see what you can bring to the table as far as your football knowledge, use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. We're closing in on 200 people watching live. We haven't even started the official show yet, but We only have 39 likes. In 30 seconds, I want to see us get this stream as close to 100 likes as we can. So be sure to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, especially if you're pumped up to talk some Niner football here. Shout out to the recent commenter club, Dave D, Bizdak, and Black Mask with a $50 super chat. That seems like a challenge. It's the goddamn football season. Let's go red and gold, put the offseason in the past, and focus on the Lombardi Trophy. So Black Mask getting us going with a $50 super chat, and that is one $50 super chat for him in the month of September. Whoever sends in the most 50s right here on the Niners Report, we will send you a customized jersey. And we are now $250 away from going live even earlier, even more than an hour, for our pregame show on Monday Night Football. Continue to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Super chat's not pulling again. Absolutely brutal. Melvin McGee, Picasso, it's the Holtz, the Sentinels Football Channel, and TFL Slayer Prods in the chat right now. And TFL is asking me who I have for tonight's game. I did pose that question. It is our live poll question. Football is back. Who you got tonight? Ravens, Chiefs. 82% of the people going with Baltimore over Kansas City. So continue to get those votes in. Who you got in this game? I kind of like Kansas City. I think they match up well against Baltimore, but it is going to be a good game regardless. Black Mask, we're trying to get that $50 super chat popped up. It's the Holtz. Your eyes are beautiful. Thank you. A lot of people like to criticize them, but I do think they're very blue. I'm taking the Ravens. I hate them both. That coming in from Black Mask. Picasso. I'm a tad shaky about our offensive line against that Jets defense. We're going to talk about that coming up here during our live program. The Sentinels Football Channel saying same, worried about that offensive line. And then TFL Slayer saying 31-28 Ravens. Gumpwolf, a $20 super chat. LFG football is here. Hi, faithful Chase and Chip. Yes, it's Chase and Chip live on the San Francisco 49ers Report. 200 people watching live. We're 26 people away from 100 likes. As you venture in here, please make sure you hit that thumbs up icon and you like the video. Yeah, if you can't get them up, let's just start the official show. Yeah, we can't pull the super chats right now, Black Mask and Gumpwolf, but we did acknowledge them verbally. Thank you so much for sending those in. It's a technical problem here on our side. Actually, it's not even on us. It's with some type of software or YouTube. So apologies, and hopefully we're able to pop those super chats up. All right, let's get started with our coverage here. And we have 3 segments to get to. We're going to start off with the Christian McCaffrey injury. Are there reasons to be concerned? And then we have some wild details in the aftermath of the Ricky Pearsall shooting. That will be segment number 1, which is about to get underway here live on the Niners Report. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for hanging out here on the show. 20 likes away from 100. So continue to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and with that, our official live show begins right now. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr. Here's what we're talking about on today's show. There is a concerning Christian McCaffrey injury update going into Week 1, Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. And also, Kyle Shanahan spoke with the media on this Thursday. He provided some wild details in the aftermath of the Ricky Pearsall shooting, so be sure to stay tuned to that. I also want to say thank you to all of the real ones for hitting that subscribe button right here on the Niners Report. This is the largest independently run Niners channel on YouTube. It is an honor for me to be in front of the camera, on the microphone, talking Niners every single day with some of the smartest and most passionate fans in all of sports, and that includes you, everybody who watches this show. Yesterday, we surpassed 138,000 subscribers, and we're already 341 people past that number. So if you want Niners shows that are informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking, that involve you, the Niner fan, hit that subscribe button and join the movement. As for the Christian McCaffrey injury, he is going to be limited in practice due to an Achilles and calf issue. As we know, the reigning NFL Offensive Player of the Year has missed the last couple of weeks because of a calf injury. But because it is game week, the NFL makes it mandatory for teams to put players on an injury report. So now we kind of officially know what this ailment is for Christian McCaffrey, or it could be that an Achilles injury has also been bothersome for Christian McCaffrey. So I have to pose this question, and this immediately came to mind. Due to the severity of a soft tissue injury combined with an Achilles problem, is his week 1 status in jeopardy? Because anytime you hear Achilles, you have to take extra precaution. You know what happened last year with Dre Greenlaw? He was dealing with that Achilles tendonitis for a long time. In the Super Bowl, he popped his Achilles. And Christian McCaffrey this offseason just signed a new deal, got a lot of guaranteed money. The contract extension carries him through 2027. He's so valuable to what the Niners do on the offensive side of the football, running it and receiving it. He's been the Niners' offensive MVP the last year and a half since the trade. You can't risk him getting severely injured. And an Achilles problem for a 28-year-old running back could be devastating for his overall career. So the Achilles can go at any point if you're not careful. And from 2023, remember how great Christian McCaffrey was, but the wear and tear on his body. You look at his numbers from a year ago, in depth, he led the NFL in touches with 272 carries and 67 catches. He was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year and top 5 in MVP voting for a reason. He ran for nearly 1,500 yards. He had 564 receiving yards, 5.5 yards per carry, 8.4 yards per catch. He was tied for first in the National Football League non-quarterbacks in touchdowns scored with 21. And his yards per game, 91 on the ground, 35 through the air. And last year, at the end of the year, he was dealing with a calf injury. So in 2023, to recap all of this, he leads the NFL in touches, led the NFL in rushing yards, tied for first in touchdowns, was NFL Offensive Player of the Year. That got him on the Madden cover. And throughout this summer, he's been injured throughout pretty much the entire duration of training camp. Now, I know he said a couple of weeks ago, if it was a regular season game, I would be able to play. But do the Niners feel the same way about this? I'm concerned with the calf and Achilles combination because that is not an injury you want to mess around with. And McCaffrey has a little bit of an injury history. He comes into the league, first-round pick out of Stanford, where he was just an electric return man, running back, and receiver. And he was able to impress right from the jump with Carolina. He plays 16 games as a rookie with 10 starts. Year 2, 16 games, 16 starts. 2019, 16 games, 16 starts, and All-Pro that year. But then in 2020, injured his shoulder, 3 games, 3 starts. In 2021, injured his ankle, 7 games, 7 starts. For the Niners and the Panthers in 2022, he played 17 games with 16 starts. The only game he did not start was right after the trade against Kansas City. And in 2023, last year, he did miss 1 game because of a calf injury, but was incredible. 16 games, 16 starts. For his career, 91 career games and 84 starts. But remember, that calf issue last year, I thought impacted McCaffrey in a way where he wasn't quite the same player with quite the same giddy-up in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl as compared to much of the year when he was able to stay healthy and he was such a focal point for this offense. And really, when you think about what he's done for the Niners since the trade, it goes down as one of the best trades in the history of the National Football League. And outside of quarterbacks, he's probably been the best skill player in the league. He was rewarded with that contract. He earned it. but there is a risk that comes with paying an older running back with this much wear and tear, especially coming off a year in which he led the league in touches. Now, a lot of people are probably panicking in the comment section, and you're posing this question, Chase, can the Niners still win without Christian McCaffrey? The answer is yes. Christian McCaffrey isn't going to take away from the Niners' abilities to win this football game and be successful on the offensive side of the football. And I'll tell you this, running back Jordan Mason, most improved player throughout training camp, has added pass catching to his arsenal, runs hard, physically, decisively, good balance, good vision, a one-cut runner. It seems as though anytime he gets his hands on the football, he's running for 5.5 yards and carrying the pile. And he's the best player on the Niners and one of the best players across the league that people don't yet know about. If he had more ample opportunities to carry the pill for other squads across the NFL, I think that he would be a very, very productive running back. So I'll ask you this question. Can the Niners beat the Jets if Christian McCaffrey does not play? Type W for win, L for lose. Let me know right now down in the comment section. Coming up next here on the show, Kyle Shanahan met with the media on this Thursday afternoon on September 5th. He provided some wild updates in the aftermath of the Ricky Pearsall shooting. And a couple of days after getting shot in the chest and nearly dying, Ricky Pearsall was on the practice field today with his teammates. Not in uniform, but still on the practice field walking around. I think that he should lead the Niners out of the tunnel on Monday Night Football. That would be electric. Today's 49ers Report is sponsored by our friends at Game Time. I love going to sporting events, and as the host of the 49ers Report, you know I love football. I got chills when I walked into Allegiant Stadium on Sunday in Las Vegas for USC LSU, a top 25 matchup. That game came down to the wire. For a moment, I thought we were going into overtime, but USC able to come through with the clutch victory. And I had tremendous seats. It was the largest event in the history of Allegiant Stadium, and I was there thanks to our friends at Game Time. What time is it? Game Time. If you're looking for the best seats at the lowest price guaranteed, Game Time has you covered. You can't only get sporting event tickets. You can get concerts, comedy shows, theater events, and more. You can see the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. And you can access your tickets right from your phone. And if you want to resell your tickets, you can do that as well. If you're looking to go to a Niners game this year, it is a loaded home slate at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. There are plenty of tickets available for multiple different price points. And one of my favorite aspects of this app is being able to see the vantage point and the price point from the seats that you will purchase. If you want the aerial view and you're very particular about which yard line you want to sit at, 40-yard line, or you want to sit 300 level to get the bird's eye view of the game behind the end zone for the all-22 look, you can simply do that with this feature right here. If you want to go to a San Francisco Giants game, the Giants just giving Matt Chapman a large contract extension, you want to see a great Giant in action, you can go to Oracle Park and get those tickets as well. Be sure to check out Game Time Picks. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy shows, theater, and more. I love the all-in pricing tool. You can toggle this feature, which shows the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. First purchase only. Create an account, redeem the code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. To our Ricky Pearsall update. So for those of you not familiar, what a wild Saturday it was. Pearsall was shot in Union Square, San Francisco. And he was shot after an autograph signing right by his car. And the person who shot him identified him for having a Rolex watch, tried to take that Rolex watch. Ricky Pearsall fought him back, and there was a struggle for the gun. The person charged, a 17-year-old teenager, has been charged with attempted murder and assault with the semi-automatic weapon, and second-degree robbery. He also was shot, according to reports, in his hand, and according to reports, he shot himself. Now, Kyle Shanahan was speaking with the media today, and he provided some insane details and updates in the aftermath of what transpired. Shanahan said he talked to people in the emergency room who told him that 2 out of 100 people usually survive that shooting. Pearsall was also shot in the chest, 2 inches under a tattoo with prayer hands. He then told Shanahan after he got shot that he thinks that he can play against the New York Jets on Monday. That's wild. That's resiliency. That's toughness. That's dog. And thankfully, Ricky Pearsall is okay. And those details are just nutty. Shanahan also said on Saturday that the team was assuming the worst for a while because there were some questions about what was going on with Pearsall after he did get shot. And as for his injury recovery, he's going to take it easy for about a week to avoid working up a sweat just because of that wound there. And then he'll be able to start his rehab. The bullet passed through his chest clean. And you think about your chest, a lot of stuff going on there, right? And it just went right through with the smallest amount of harm possible. All of this, wild, crazy, remarkable. It's a blessing. So glad that Ricky Pearsall is okay. For all of us in the San Francisco 49ers, it certainly puts things in perspective. His NFL career has not gotten off to a great start. Shoulder injury in camp, hamstring injury in camp, and then he gets shot. But here's to hoping that Pearsall is going to be able to have a successful recovery, a great NFL career, and he can get better from all of this adversity. The 49ers today also naming their team captains. Here they are here to my right. Nick Bosa, Kyle Juszczyk, Trent Williams, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel, and Christian McCaffrey. All vets, really, outside of Purdy, who is in year 3. This is a veteran-laden team with some incredible players on this roster. A QB2 update. This might come as a surprise for some people. Brandon Allen has been named the backup quarterback behind Brock Purdy for Week 1 against the New York Jets. If you watch the preseason, Josh Dobbs did look better. In practice, though, Brandon Allen was a little bit more crisp, and I still thought that Brandon Allen performed very well in the preseason. I was pleasantly surprised with what the backups did throughout preseason play. We covered a lot here on the show. This is what we do. This is the standard for Niners Talk right here on YouTube. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Videos coming your way every single day. Black Mask, here's that $50 super chat. That seems like a challenge. It's the football season. Let's go red and gold. Put the offseason in the past and focus on the Lombardi Trophy. I love it, Black Mask. And then Gump Wolf, LFG football is here. Hi, Faithful, Chase, and Chip. And then I did see a couple of $5 super chats, which came in during that segment. 5 from Black Mask. What did we talk about last year? Is Kyle using Christian McCaffrey too much? Yes, I think he has to manage the workload a little bit more. And you were saying that last year. EC with another 5. Sorry, Chase, but the Niners are going to suck this year and will never win Super Bowl 59. Mark my words. So I'm going to screenshot this, EC, and I'm going to remember this, and you might end up on Old Takes Exposed if the Niners end up hoisting that 6th Lombardi Trophy. Are they pulling now? Some of them did. Okay. All right. Interesting. 251 people watching live. Be sure to hit that thumbs up icon. Like the video. Appreciate everybody for being understanding of some of the technical difficulties with the super chats. But we will pop back up our super chat menu because we're up to $80 in super chats. That means we're 20 away from a beer boot. 3 beers, 1 boot. All super chats get a shout out. 20 for a beer cheers. $50. You enter the competition that we're doing here on the Niners Report for this month. Whoever sends in the most $50 super chats throughout the month of September, you will win a customized jersey from us here on the show. 49ers Report on the nameplate, the number 24 signifying the 2024 season. $300 in total. we will go live longer than an hour for our pregame show on Monday. It's up to you. If you want to get on the show, not this segment, but the next, we are doing a mailbag. Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat if you have a question, hot take, opinion, you want to ask me something, get those questions in right now.
If anybody has already asked a question using hashtag 49ers, it seems to be working now, but if you already asked it, it didn't show up. So just ask your question again, use hashtag 49ers again. I believe it's working now. Hopefully it doesn't go in and out. Having some technical difficulties, but it looks like things are working right now because this super chat just came through, baby.
Julie D! A $20 super chat. That gets us to $100 in super chats. I'm just realizing I didn't bring a beer with me because we were rushing to get live on the show. But after we finish our mailbag for segment number 3, we'll do that beer boot for everybody. And that'll, of course, serve as the beer cheers. And we're now $200 away from doing a longer pregame show for Monday Night Football in a few days. All right, let's move forward here with segment number 2. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, thank you so much for hanging out with the faithful live here on the Niners Report. So far, we talked about the Christian McCaffrey injury, an update on Ricky Pearsall, and now coming up next, the biggest concerns for the Niners on Monday Night Football against the New York Jets. Let's preview this game in a way, and let's move forward here with segment number 2. Welcome into the San Francisco 49ers Report. I'm Chase Sr. No matter where you are, how you're tuned in, I appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. As for what we're getting into here, I want to line up the biggest concerns that I have for the 49ers against the New York Jets. Just taking a look at some of the biggest and most important matchups in this game on Monday Night Football. Before we dive into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button as we're approaching 140,000 subscribers. And if you're coming across the show for the first time and you're unfamiliar with our game and what we do, shows every single day, which cover 49ers news and analysis, breaking news coverage, Niners draft content, 49ers free agency intel. We go live for every single Niners game, preseason, regular season, playoffs, and we do the biggest numbers among all Niner channels on YouTube as far as our watch party numbers go. And then we do live shows as we're live right now on the Niners Report. Hit that subscribe button. I promise you, we won't disappoint you with our coverage. My biggest concerns for San Francisco against the New York Jets. Number 1, first-year defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. I understand it was only the preseason, but I did not like what I saw from the San Francisco defense in those 3 preseason games because the Niners, according to Pro Football Focus, had one of the worst defenses among 32 teams during the preseason. And Nick Sorensen has never called plays as a defensive coordinator before in his life. And I worry about how the Niners hold up in some of these money down situations. I'm talking third downs and in the red zone, especially going up against a veteran quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, who might be 0-4 against San Francisco in the playoffs, but is 6-3 against the Niners in the regular season. He's coming off that torn Achilles. He wants to prove everybody wrong. He wants to prove and show everybody that he can still play, and he's not far removed from winning back-to-back MVPs. Aaron Rodgers can still sling it. Aaron Rodgers can diagnose the defense, and he might be able to eat up against an inexperienced play caller. I know that Kyle Shanahan has a great track record of hiring coordinators. I know that some of the marquee players on this Niners defense, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, they're pumped up about Nick Sorensen. But I have my concerns because this is a difficult matchup for him to make his debut as a defensive coordinator in prime time. As for those concerning defensive areas for the Niners, last year, they were not good stopping teams on third down, 42.4% conversion rate for the opposition. That was 27th among 32 teams. And then opposing yards per rush. The Niners were number 3, I think, against the run with DeMeco Ryans as DC 2 years ago. They fell off a cliff, and they were 21st in opposing yards per rush at 4.3. San Francisco has to get better in these 2 areas against the Jets to open up the 2024 campaign. Concern number 2 is stopping Jets running back Breece Hall. because the Jets have been so bad. A lot of people don't realize how good of a player Pearsall is. But if you're playing fantasy sports, I think that Pearsall is one of the better fantasy options that you can go with. Year one, after he was drafted out of Iowa State, he was actually Brock Purdy's roommate. He was really good in the 7 games that he played, 2 starts, and then he hurt his knee. But then last year, he was good, and I think year 3 is going to be a breakout year for Pearsall. 6'1", 220, good size, good speed, good athlete, good cut ability. Last season, with the bad offensive line and horrendous quarterback play, 223 carries, 994 yards, and 5 touchdowns, a long of 83. So he does have that getaway speed. He also had 4 receiving touchdowns, 76 catches, and 591 yards. Sneakily, he's become one of the best dual-threat running backs in the NFL. A terrific matchup for football nerds out there. Brandon Ayuk against Sauce Gardner. Ayuk got $30 million per year, $76 million in guaranteed money, $47 million payout by April 1st of 2025. He wanted a bag. He got top 5 wide receiver money. And now it's time to show up and show out against one of the finest corners in the NFL. Sauce Gardner is terrific. Overall Pro Football Focus grade last year of 88.6. A coverage grade of 90.8. That is nearly perfect from the PFF metrics. A passer rating allowed of just 76.5. Yards per catch allowed of 8.7. He kept everything in front of him, has ball skills, is very aggressive. He didn't have any interceptions last year, but consistently makes plays on the ball and has very sticky coverage on some of the game's elite wide receivers. All of those numbers coming on 583 coverage snaps. Plenty more to get to here on the show, but here's today's poll question. What is your biggest concern for the Niners against the New York Jets? I know you're probably going to talk about the offensive line. We're going to talk about the offensive line coming up here in just a moment. But first, want to give a shout out to Prize Picks for making today's 49ers Report possible. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their projected stat lines. And Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It's the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections for a game or a season, and you watch the winnings roll in. If you sign up today, you get $50 instantly. When you play $5, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. What I also really like about Prize Picks, there are specials, which makes winning easy. For instance, every week in the month of September, there is a Caleb Williams special. More than a half passing yard. Are you kidding me? He's going to surpass more than a half passing yard, even if you don't like him and his nail polish. Christian McCaffrey, hopefully he can play against the Jets. More than 115.5 rushing and receiving yards. Brandon Ayuk, more than 4 receptions. I love that. And then Pearsall, more than 63.5 rushing yards. Pick 2 or more players, choose more or less, and I want you to choose Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code CLNS for that special deal. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Prize Picks, run your game. Another big matchup here in this Monday Night Football tilt is Kyle Shanahan against Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, the Niners defensive coordinator for a couple of years before taking on the New York Jets head coaching role. And this is an offensive mind against his protege, who is a defensive mind. Last year, San Francisco's offense, called by Kyle Shanahan, #1 overall offensive unit in the NFL. The New York Jets, they still won 7 games after Aaron Rodgers popped his Achilles a couple of plays into the year, and Zach Wilson was so bad. But that defense is legit. #1 in yards per play given up at 4.6. And last year, I thought it was a little bit of a red flag how San Francisco struggled against some of the elite defenses in the National Football League. Cleveland Browns and Jim Schwartz. Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings. Lou Anarumo and the Cincinnati Bengals. Mike McDonald and the Baltimore Ravens, Steve Spagnuolo, and the Kansas City Chiefs. To open up the season against a high-caliber defense like this, it will be a tall test, especially with Ayuk and Trent Williams just signing recently. The Niners are trying to patch things together here going into a very difficult Week 1 matchup. If anything, I'm looking at the under in this game. Next, the Jets' defensive line against the 49ers' offensive line. The Jets' defensive line is a strength for their ball club. The Niners' offensive line is a weakness for their team. And I can guarantee you this, that the Jets are going to load up the defensive left side and the offensive right side to try to take advantage of Colton McKivitz at right tackle. And if Jalen Moore plays at left tackle, look out. Brock Purdy could be running for his life. It could be a game where San Francisco really prioritizes trying to run the football. McKivitz last year thought he was the worst starting right tackle in football, more than 1,000 snaps, 573 pass blocking snaps. He gave up 9 sacks, 47 total pressures, and 4 hits. He was one of the lowest graded right tackles in all of football. Now, hopefully, Trent Williams is going to be able to play. He told Larry Krueger this week that he has made some changes to his offseason conditioning program. He looks to be in fantastic shape, but he's also 36 years old. So hopefully he's the anchor there at left tackle. Aaron Banks coming off that pinky surgery at left guard. Jake Brendel pretty average there at center. Dominic Pooney was one of the stars of Niners training camp. San Francisco looks to have found a stud at the right guard spot, and then Colton McKivitz at right tackle. The positive with Pooney, hopefully, is that he's going to be able to help McKivitz out on that right side. We move forward. Big matchup here. George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey, if he plays, in the pass game against Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley. Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley are one of the best linebacking duos in the National Football League. And just like Pearsall has kind of fallen under the radar, Garrett Wilson, a really good wide receiver, has fallen under the radar because the Jets have been so irrelevant and a lot of people don't recognize the Jets and they don't play in the playoffs. This linebacking duo, I think, is underrated and under-talked about. They are fast. They are physical. They can wreak havoc on the game. They have great speed from sideline to sideline. They are tenacious, and together, they're really good. In coverage, against the run, an occasional blitz package. So Christian McCaffrey, or George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey against Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley, that is a high-level, in-depth football matchup to look out for on Monday night. If you enjoyed today's show, give me a real one down in the comment section. Always appreciate your support and always appreciate the legends who watch until the end. All right, more Super Chats. Another one from Black Mask. A $50 Super Chat. And for Black Mask, a San Francisco. So we're doing a September competition in which the person who sends in the most $50+ Super Chats all month will win a customized Niners jersey from us here on the Niners Report. The number 24, that's the year, and then 49ers Report on the nameplate. Black Mask, leader in the clubhouse, with 2 of those already. $20, beer cheers, $100 total. We're already doing a beer boot, and if we get to $300 in total Super Chats, we're doing a longer pregame show. We'll go live more than an hour before the game against the Jets, and I'll let y'all decide. So that is our Super Chat menu here for today's Niners Report on this Thursday, September 5th. Shout out to the recent commenter club. I see it's the Holt, Sergio, Julie D, Cerebral Assassin, J49, Trez, Black Mask again, Tyman the Buckeye. What's good, Tyman? He's definitely a real one.
Make sure, get those questions in. We got a mailbag coming up here for segment number 3. So it's your last chance. Use that hashtag, send in a super chat, get a question, hot take, anything you want to say.
Anything you want.
Before this week 1 matchup, get on the show. Julie!
Julie D! How did we say we pronounce her name again? DiCiano?
DiCiano, yeah.
Julie DiCiano? I'm pretty sure we got that right. Draco, I didn't realize you was still alive. Draco, did you find your phone, man? Did you find your phone after losing it in Vegas? I hope so. Silence. Start Mason at running back. Play CMC more as the slot wide receiver. See, I don't think that's going to happen. Big picture down the road, I do wonder if McCaffrey can extend his football career by operating more out of the slot to preserve his body. Either way, whether McCaffrey plays against the Jets or not, we're going to see more from Jordan Mason this year. Draco, hell nah. Crackhead got it. Very sad. Now, did you go to Wild and Out at the MGM? Did you end up going there? Wow, homeless person actually got your phone. That is sad. So Draco lives in Vegas, and he reached out to me over the weekend and said, hey, if you're around, you're not busy a little bit later, link up with me. I'm going to be at Wild and Out at the MGM. And then I woke up the next day and he said, I lost my phone. And now he's telling me a homeless person got it. Benjamin Salazar, is Christian McCaffrey 50-50 to start Monday? I'm not going to put like a percentage on it, but if I'm the Niners, I mean, I'm trying to play it safe. We are 130 away from you deciding how long our pregame show will be on Monday night. Oh, jeez. Sorry, man. Will Jordan Mason have 100 yards rushing? I don't know if he'll have 100. He's definitely capable. You know, that Jets defense is susceptible to giving up big chunks on the ground. I just love the way that he runs, tough, physical. Isaac Guerrero was one to watch. He was working on the side field earlier this week coming off that groin injury. If he can escape soft tissue injuries, I'm a believer in the player. No doubt. Leland J, thank you, Chase, from all 130,000 plus of us. Bang, bang, Niner gang. You know, it's awesome, Leland J. Now we're approaching 140,000. And in looking at the numbers, we might be able to get there on Monday night. We just surpassed 138. So I think that we can get there. Lore, what is producer Chipper's score for this game?
I'm going to say I do think it's somewhat more of a defensive battle. I like the under, as you said, Chase. I'm going to go Niners 17-14. I think it's low scoring. 17-14, Niners come out on top.
All right, low scoring affair. Now, in week one, weird things happen, and oftentimes unders hit just because the starters don't really play a lot in the preseason. It's the first game. Teams are a little bit more conservative. It's a little bit more sloppy. So keep that in mind. How many do we got? Julie with another 10. Thank you, Julie. That's a $10 super chat. We're having some problems being able to show some of the super chats right now. Chip is just in over his head, having to build some of these graphics here on the fly. So that's a W for Julie. Beer boot still to come. 120 away from 300 in supers. And if we get there, you decide when we go live for Niners Jets on Monday.
We could still use a couple more questions, so if you have a question, get it in there.
Let's just scrap the mailbag.
Yeah?
Yeah, just I'm not having you build all those.
All right.
We'll just have to get a Niner seg tomorrow.
It's fine.
So, all right. So no mailbag. Sorry about that. We can't do it because of technical difficulties.
We can still answer a couple of them real quick. I can just verbalize
Yeah,
them.
and we've been answering some of them here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go fill up the beer boot. We're going to do that, and we'll do a 2-minute super chat shot clock once I get back. And we'll just hang out. If you have some questions, use hashtag 49ers. Chip and I will be able to answer those questions, and we'll just chop it up with the faithful. So Chip's going to hop on the mic. I'll fill up the beer boot, and I'll be right back.
Let's do it, baby. Let's do it. Give me your predictions. Were you talking to Chase, Julie? I said 17-14. I think, this is how I think the game goes, right? I think the Jets get off to a hot start, go up 7-0 early, score in their first drive, and then I think it's back and forth for a little bit. I think the Niners score before half, make it 7-7 at the half. Niners come out of the half, get a field goal, go up 10-7. Jets respond, go up 14-10. And it's back and forth, and then late in the fourth quarter, we'll say with about 5 minutes to go, Niners go on a scoring drive. George Kittle touchdown makes it 17-14. And the Niners get an interception off Aaron Rodgers while the Jets are driving, trying to win the game to close it out. That's my prediction for the game. Niners come out on top against one of the best teams they're going to face all season. The Jets, just from a roster talent perspective, have one of the most talented rosters in the league. Now, the coaching staff is a little bit suspect. And what do we get from Aaron Rodgers? But that team is talented, man. Sauce Gardner might be the best cornerback in the NFL. Garrett Wilson's a rising star. Breece Hall's a rising star. They've patched up that O-line. The defense is nasty, man. Quinnen Williams is a dog. Chase talked about those linebackers, C.J. Mosley and Quincy Williams. DJ Reed is a very underrated corner. DJ Reed might be the best number 2 cornerback in the league. Decent safety play, but Black Mask brings up a good point. They're good on paper. They're good on paper. They got to show it, man. They got to show it. And they showed some decent things last year without Aaron Rodgers, but they still gotta put what they have talent-wise onto the field and show it. Whereas the Niners have shown it. Hopefully they have McCaffrey. Hopefully Ayuk is worked in enough to be able to make a good impact on this game. And the Niners haven't really owned Aaron Rodgers in the regular season, but in the postseason they absolutely have. So hope to get some more of that going.
Some more super chats came in.
Yup.
So good stuff. See, here's the deal. If people combine to send the 50, at the end of the month, it's just too much for me to have to go back and do those calculations. So if you just send in 150, you enter the super chat or September super chat competition to get in the running for that Niners jersey. It's the most $50 super chats at the end of the month. If I'm having to look back at all the super chats that come in and I'm calculating a 10, a 20, it's just too much. So $50 is the easiest way for us to just count those because it does take a lot of time with the super chat volume that we have on this channel. FYI. All right. Nick Dolfer, what's up, brother? A beer boot for the faithful. 3 beers, 1 boot for getting past $100 in super chats.
Everybody type chug in the chat. Get ready for Monday. Let's go, baby. Chug, 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 chug. There's the bubbles. He gets past them. Chug, 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 chug. Chase taking down the boot. Like it's nothing, baby. Nothing you've ever seen before. Woo. That's the sound of a boot right there. 3 beers. Oh, on a thirsty Thursday. Gotta get ready for NFL
We got
season.
football tonight.
Yeah, we got football tonight.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, Julie, you sent it separately. It has to come in as one. It's just impossible for me to be able to count all those.
And then it's like, where do you draw the line?
Nick Dofer!
Oh!
A $50 super chat.
Oh,
And
it's pulling.
It's coming out. Nice. Here's the thing, too. Everybody in the month of September who sends in a 50 gets their name on the jersey. So that's a cool part as well. We're up to 234. If we get to 300, you get to decide when we go live on Monday night. Right now, we're already doing an hour pregame show. So you can decide if we go live longer. I have a pressing question for all of my friends watching. So, NFL season gets underway tonight. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. I'm really looking forward to the game. I love football. Fell in love with the game when I was 4 years old. And here at Chat Sports, we have a great collection of people here. I've made some lifelong friendships. Really, in Dallas, I only hang out with my coworkers. And I have no problem with that. Here's my issue. A group of coworkers love to go to this local Buffalo Wild Wings. One of my biggest pet peeves in life is incompetence. And at said Buffalo Wild Wings, the service is horrible. The food stinks. The game atmosphere, I don't think it's all that good. Now, the good thing about Buffalo Wild Wings is you have the game audio, and that's huge for me. I need the game audio. But the service is so bad and so cheap that sometimes you don't even get a server. You scan a QR code, and you put your beer order in, and maybe at some point your beer comes out within 20 minutes. It could be more. So now it's become like a cult classic for the Chat Sports people to go there because they love how shitty it is. But for me, I hate incompetence. I don't like the food. I don't want to eat the food. And I think the service sucks. So I refuse to give them my money. But I'm going to have FOMO, fear of missing out, not being with the homies, watching football. Should I stand firm and watch the game at my house? Because that's what I'm doing as of right now. I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. So let me know down in the comments section. Do I go? Do I stay home? I think I'm staying home. Chip?
I've been there a couple times. I remember going last year for the first game of the season, Chiefs-Lions. It is such a brutal experience, man.
It sucks.
And the food's not good enough to be like, oh, I'll go anyways.
Yes.
You're not getting good food.
Exactly.
So it's like, what are you going there for?
Are you going?
No.
You're staying home?
Yeah. Well,
Or going somewhere else?
I think. Keep this in the DL. Some of us may be trying to go to Mayor's Garden. Do they have game audio at Mayor's Garden?
I don't know if they have game audio at Mayor's Garden, but it's a better place to go than Buffalo Wild Wings. Let's see what the people are saying here. Julie! It's her 10th ever super chat, and it's a $50 super chat. Julie D. Julie D. Julie D. Julie D. That's awesome. We're 16 away from 300. Let me get back to those responses. And I saw Nick Dolfer, I think, had the first one. Let's see. See, Black Mask said go to Twin Peaks. Is there a Twin Peaks here? There is a Twin Peaks here. Have I been to one of those before? Scratch American food and draft beer. That sounds good. All right, so Twin Peaks is the recommendation from Black Mask. Draco said don't settle for less. I'm with you. Nick Dolfer said home. J49 said stay home. Less obnoxious people. I kind of like being in my own little territory. It's the Holt said home. Half the time the beers don't even come out cold there. That's what I'm saying, Benjamin. It's a crime. Xavier said stay home. Get the drinks at home from Draco and have a party. I like that. Or barbecue. Potluck. All right. Everybody's saying stay home, so I might do that. Venue is clutch. Exactly. Venue is huge. It's huge. All right. So Julie with the 50, $16 away from 300. And if we get there, you get to decide. We'll put a poll up. We'll put a poll up, and you can decide when we go live on Monday Night Football for our watch party. Fries and friends from Draco. Getting fried with friends, Draco. How do I like this? Derrick Henry, more than a half rushing and receiving touchdown. Love it. Rashee Rice and Lamar Jackson, more than 110.5 rushing and receiving yards combo. Nice. And Isaiah Pacheco, more than 61.5. I was seeing some weird chatter that like Samaje Perine might take carries away from Pacheco, but
I don't like that.
I love the first two. I really like the first two. By the way, Draco also sent me one of his rap songs. It's really good. It's really good.
Draco!
Now, it's more in the go hard rap category of like a Chief Keef and maybe some like old school Kodak. Maybe a little Kevin Gates in there. But it's good. It's good if you're into that style.
Is Travis Kelce healthy right now?
Yes.
He's going through a breakup, though, right?
Allegedly.
So
Allegedly.
I don't know.
I actually think that he's going to have a bounce back year this year. Last year, he was not good, but in that playoff run, he was awesome.
Yeah.
Sergio, am I worried about the Kansas City Chiefs game? On the regular season for the Niners? Yeah, because the Niners have never beaten Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
Swift got a new breakup song already.
The conspiracy theories around that are wild, too. It's like, the conspiracy theory is that they had this planned all along, and there was a breakup date that was determined, and Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift had this agreement where they were going to be in a relationship so that Travis Kelce could like get these endorsements and stuff. The internet's a wild place. I found that out on Saturday. I was in the crosshairs on Saturday. I criticized the city of San Francisco's leadership, and people let me hear about it.
I think I'm just gonna go with those two.
All right, I like that. I like that a lot. Just a little free money, right?
Yeah.
With the bonus.
Yeah.
16 away from 300. 16 away from 300, and you can decide when we go live. It's the Holtz. Thank you.
I know we can get there, man. I know we can get there.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's going to be the one?
All right, the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock is going on. The 2-minute Super Chat shot clock is activated. If we don't get the 300 within 2 minutes, we'll only stick with an hour pregame show. If we get the 300 in the 2 minutes, we'll put up a poll question, and you can decide when we go live. We're going live right now, 7:15 p.m. Eastern, 4:15 Pacific on Monday night. You guys haven't even shouted out the Super Chat from Julie?
I thought we did.
We went crazy over we did the Julie D. Julie D. I like how people can reply to the Super Chats now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Can like them, everything.
Julie said, come on, people. We're about 50 seconds in. 50 seconds in.
There it is!
Nick Dofer! Here we go! All right, let's do this. New poll question going up. The people decide.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. Love it.
All right, so let's do Hour and 10 minutes. So 70 minutes before the game. 75 minutes before the game. That would be an hour and 15. Or do we go 90 minutes before the game?
Up to y'all.
All right, new poll questions up. Hour 10, hour 15, or an hour 30. Oh, we have the bots in the chat. They think that we're going live for Thursday Night Football.
Wow. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here.
Go vote. Go vote. 11 votes. Everyone go vote. 164 people. I want 164 votes.
All right, let's see. Gump Wolf! $10 super chat. What do you think of the Steelers tackle Broderick Jones, and do you think the 49ers should try to trade for him? Yeah, Broderick Jones is certainly an intriguing player, and that was a player who myself, Larry Krueger, when I do his appearance, or when I do his show on Friday, and I appear on his show on YouTube, we'll do that tomorrow too at, 1:45 p.m. Eastern, 10:45 a.m. on the West Coast. We talked about Broderick Jones, and we talked about him as a potential trade chip if the Niners were to trade Brandon Ayuk to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And following the Ayuk contract extension with San Francisco, it looks like the Steelers came the closest to landing Ayuk. He really wanted to go there. It was there or Washington, his two preferences. So Broderick Jones, a good player. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to trade him now, especially after losing out on Ayuk. I think they're going to hold on to him, but Broderick Jones is a good player. I liked him coming out of college. Juan, YouTube needs to do something about the bot problem. It's out of control. I agree. That's why we're making people moderators now during our live watch parties so that the viewer can just click and they go. All right, it looks like people want a 90-minute pregame show. So hour and a half pregame show. So that'll make it, what is that? We were going to go live at 7:15. So 6:45 p.m. Eastern, 3:45 West Coast is when we'll go live on Monday night. Thanks to everybody for supporting the show today. More than $300 in super chats. Black Mask leading the way for our September customized jersey competition. Gave you some great content right here on the Niners Report as well. Time Man said, AKA me. Yeah, buddy. We'll make Time Man the moderator on Monday night if you're hanging out. All right, we're gone. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Some great Niners content today. For Chip, I'm Chase. For the faithful, thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for supporting the show. And we'll catch you next time. See ya!